morning and welcome to this edition of News Leader. I'm Andrew Todd. In tonight's news, we'll have more highlights from Tullahoma High School's graduation, the Tullahoma Chamber's Women Impacting the Community event, and we'll hear from Coffee County Mayor Judd Matheny. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's News Leader.
Hi, my name is Ringo. Here at Barkview Senior Living, they're human-friendly. That's why I love it here, and so does my senior human. When they want a bite, they get chef-prepared meals, and so do I. Movies in the theater, day trips, walks on the trail, and other senior humans to play with. The grass and the grounds are exquisite. It's everything my human needs to be healthy and active. Barkview. A Parkview Senior Living. For your dog's best friend, you.
Do you love sports? Then you should know about STEM. Because maximizing nutrition, analyzing peak muscle performance, calculating the perfect shot, and more are all made possible by science, technology, engineering, and math. In fact, there are more careers than ever in sports science. So if you have a passion for sports, then think about getting involved in STEM and improve everyone's game on and off the field. Get inspired at SheCanSTEM.com.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Welcome back. At last week's Tullahoma High School commencement ceremony, we heard from valedictorian Fisher Flowers.
I would like to start out by thanking the faculty and staff at Tullahoma High School, along with our family, friends, and most importantly, God. We have been blessed with amazing leaders and mentors who have guided us through our high school career. On the subject of great leaders, one of our country's greatest leaders, Abraham Lincoln, said, "In the end, it's not the years in your life that count, it's the life in your years." As we prepare to enter into the adult world, we would all do well to remember this. Our time is limited. Just look how fast the past 4 years have gone. And it is up to us to make the most out of what we have been given. We have had hundreds of educators pour their time and energy into our success. We have had people guiding us through our lives, and we have been able to face our challenges amongst one another. It is our job to make sure that we honor all those who have done so much for us by living in a way that puts life in our years. As we move on to college, work, or whatever may be in store for us, there are two things we must keep in mind. First, we will not always succeed right away. Sometimes we will fall short of our goals or mess up, but I challenge us to look at these setbacks not as failure, but as steps to success. It's all a part of the process, which leads me to my second point. We will spend all our lives in pursuit of goals. Goals like getting the job we want, buying a home, starting a family, going on vacation, or retiring. These goals are great, but reaching one only leads to the next. If we are to truly be successful in life, we have to learn to enjoy the process. We have to enjoy what comes in between and live in the moment, because ultimately, no matter what we are trying to obtain, most of our lives will be spent in the pursuit. Another key question: what is success? Too often, we define success as the amount of money we have, the cars we drive, or the clothes we wear. This is not success. The late Clayton M. Christensen, a prominent professor at Harvard Business School, put it best. Don't worry about the level of individual prominence you have achieved. Worry about the individuals you have helped become better people. At the end of our lives, it is not going to matter how much money we made or what title we hold. Instead, what will matter will be the number of people we have helped be better versions of themselves, just like our teachers and administrators have done for us. It all boils down to this: life isn't going to be easy. There are going to be challenges and setbacks. Sometimes success will seem to be defined by the things we don't have. However, we have to continue to try. We must not shrink away from obstacles simply because they are difficult to overcome. Another of our country's great leaders, Theodore Roosevelt, put it like this. He said, "I wish to preach not the doctrine of ignoble ease, but the doctrine of the strenuous life, the life of toil and effort." If we go out into the world and work hard, not take the easy way out, and strive to better not only ourselves, but those around us, I am certain that we will ultimately be successful and honor the support and sacrifice of those who have gotten us here today.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Parkview Senior Living, active, independent senior living at its finest.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
I had a knee replacement, so they've got me at Life Care, which I'm very, very thankful for. I couldn't garden, I couldn't do my flower beds, I can't chase my little dogs. I have been in several therapy sessions for knees and back, and that's the best therapist I believe I've ever been to. It's tremendous because I'm able to walk again, but if it wasn't for the care, I wouldn't be where I am.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Welcome back. Also at Tullahoma High School's graduation, the senior class president, Hannah Chesser, gave this speech.
Good evening, everyone. How are we feeling tonight? My name is Hannah Chesser, and I am Tullahoma High School's senior class president. I'd like to begin by welcoming Dr. Stevens and the board members, THS teachers and faculty, and friends and family to celebrate the 101st commencement for the class of 2023. I am very humbled and grateful to have the opportunity to speak on behalf of my classmates and Tullahoma High School tonight. Of all of the graduates, not a single one of us has done it alone. We are all a patchwork quilt made of those who have loved us, those who have believed in our futures, and those who have shown us kindness. Because of you, we would not be here tonight without your undivided support. Graduates, we've worked, we've struggled, we've sacrificed, studied, and dreamed our way here tonight. Throughout our senior year, we have all counted down the days until May 12th. Tonight, we are closing one of the most important chapters of our lives. But the best thing about finishing a chapter is that there is another one waiting for you on the next page. Class of 2023, it has been a pleasure getting to learn and grow with you over the past 4 years, and some of you even longer than that. We have navigated high school together, and that in itself was challenging. We have made so many memories, like prom and pep rallies and football games, and I hope that when we look back to our time in high school, we think of the lifelong memories and friends that we made along the way. I hope you hold on extra tight to those memories as they will hold on to you. What feels like the span of only a couple years, we went from playing with monster trucks and Barbies to staying up until 2 a.m. to finish that math homework. We have officially grown up. But don't let that scare you. I'm pretty sure most of us are still children at heart. The scary news is we're on our own now. But the cool news is we're on our own now. My fellow graduates, I cannot wait to see us flourish in the next chapter of our lives. So tonight, as all of us walk across the stage and receive our diplomas and turn our tassels, we will officially be Tullahoma High School alumni. Even though this feels like the biggest last of them all, this is the very first page, not where the storyline ends. Congratulations, class of 2023. Thank you.
More news is coming up in just a moment.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. It's a Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
He's a little bit of you, he's a little bit of me. He's the trash along the roadside of Tennessee. He's the garbage that we pack. He's the dream we left behind. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. A throwaway bottle or pop top can may not seem much to a traveling man, but a little bit of litter goes a long, long way. And I grow and get bigger every day. Tennessee trash messing up the highways. Tennessee trash junking up the byways. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash.
We have met the enemy, and he is us.
Welcome back. We now return to the recent Tullahoma Area Chamber of Commerce's Women Impacting the Community event and hear the third story that keynote speaker Monica Blake Beasley delivered.
Is one that deals with me as a police officer. At this point, I'd been a police officer for about 10 years, and I was in the school resource officer program. I was working at Weston Middle, which is a middle school in Nashville. And most of our population had to deal with inner city students who had came from housing projects. And so it's my first day on my own. And I walk into this middle school and I'm so excited. And I'm giving students high five for fighting crime. High five for fighting crime. Great job to see you. I'm so happy to see you. And they're looking at me like, who is this excited officer? And so as I go down the hallway, a student stops and he looks at me and I said, hey, high five for fighting crime. And he says, F the police. But he didn't blank out an F. He said, F the police. And so I was so taken aback because I had never had a child speak to me in this way. And I thought, you know what? Whatever's going on with this child right now has more to do with him than it does with me. Let me just keep it moving. So I see him in the hallway another day, pass by him, same thing, F the police. And I'm thinking, what did I do? So the third time that I saw him, I stopped him and I said, excuse me, have we met before? Because at this time, I've been a police officer for 10 years. There's no telling how many people I've came in contact to. Do I know you? Did I do something to you? And he said, no, but all police officers are the same. And because you wear that uniform, I don't want to have anything to do with you. Now, this child was one who had been in lots of trouble. He was known to be gang affiliated. He had been caught with drugs in school before. He was really not a child who had been nurtured very much. Statistically, anytime that children have this many problems in school, most of the time they have academic deficiencies. Turns out this child couldn't read. Just so happened, I had just finished my master's at Lipscomb for special education, and I was a reading specialist. And so I began to call this student out of class to come and talk to me. Now, the first few times, he didn't want to have anything to do with me, but Dr. Seuss books helped me to relate to him. So I would bring him into my office, and we would begin to read these Dr. Seuss books, and he would start to get confidence. This was the first time in this child's life that he ever had positive experiences with a police officer. And so we're in the cafeteria one day, and his name is Tevin. Tevin and I built a very strong relationship to where Tevin, anytime that he would get in trouble in school, instead of the teachers sending him to the office, they would send him directly to me. And he started to look at me as if I was a second mom to him. So we're in the cafeteria one day, And Tevin takes a banana and points it at one of our school employees and says, "Bang, bang, bang, bang." And the school personnel comes to me and they said, "Officer Blake, I want this student arrested right now for assault." Now, as a police officer, my job is to enforce the law. And the law says if anyone feels threatened and they can reasonably articulate that threat, then they are to be arrested for assault. That's what the law says. But it didn't feel right in my spirit. The child had a banana. So I went to the administration and there was a lady, Dr. Lehman. I said, "Dr. Lehman, I need you to support me on this. I don't want to arrest this student, but if the school wants to take that stance, I can give him all the instructions to go down and do this himself." And she said, "I'm with you, Monica. We're not arresting that baby over assault with a banana." So I sat Tevin down and I said, "Tevin, we're going to let you go, but I need you to promise me you will not do this again." So fast forward a couple of weeks later, I was started a reading clinic at the Edge Hill Library, which is actually the same projects that Tevin lived in. And so I was there one night, and I have twin boys and a beautiful baby girl right here. At the time, she was 5. At the time, she was 5, and the twins were still in their car seats. So when I would go to the reading clinic, I did not wear my uniform because I understood that oftentimes people see the uniform as a barrier, and I didn't want that. So I took my uniform, didn't have it on. I had my twins. We're coming out of the library. I had my little one, and we're walking towards the car. My hands are full. As I'm walking towards my minivan, I see 2 people coming over the horizon. But they're not just 2 people. They're 2 people with guns. I've got my children. I don't have a weapon on me. And I'm essentially in the open to be left for dead. And so as these 2 people begin to descend down this hill towards me with their guns out and pointed, I hear a voice say, "No, not her. Don't touch her. You can't touch her." It was Tevin. Tevin had somehow found himself in a position where he was so high-ranking in this gang that he could tell those people to leave me alone. And that is what happened. It is so important that you surround yourself with good people in your garden. Had I have listened to the school personnel who wanted me to arrest Tevin and not have had Dr. Lehman in my corner who was there to back me, there is no telling where I would be or my babies on this day. It is so important to make sure that you have the right people in your corner and in your garden. So take a second to think about who's in your garden, who or what possibly may need to be weeded out so that you are able to set forth and do the most good, not only for yourself, but also for others.
We'll be right back after these commercial messages.
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
We tend to lose our motivation when we have something that's chronic, but you've got to do what you can early on as you can. After I'd exercise like that, I would have a lot of energy to do housework or whatever I needed. Well, I would recommend it highly to anyone at any degree of Parkinson.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Welcome back. News leaders Philip Scoggins recently sat down with Coffee County Mayor Judd Matheny to discuss what's going on in the county government.
I wanted to give another sort of monologue update on what's going on with the county. Since we're deep into budget season, we are going to have a budget passed within about a month, sometime between the second and third week of June, and I think it's going to be a budget that we're all going to be proud of, and I'll explain this a little bit in a moment. I also want to talk about the Animal Control Center very quickly. Some health insurance things we're working on. Bonnaroo, I'll just touch on it very quickly. Everything's running smooth on Bonnaroo. Our sheriff is working closely with Manchester Police Departments and Emergency Services to make sure that they have what they need to back up any incidents at Bonnaroo. There's been a ticket fee that's been imposed on Bonnaroo ticket sales that will go to the county to help cover all of our expenses that are associated with Bonnaroo, and they've been great corporate citizens once again, and everybody here in town is cooperating with them well also. And I hope that after a couple of tough years out there due to the weather and due to COVID-19, that we're going to really have just an incredible year this year at Bonnaroo, and everything's looking like we're going to. We'll talk roads in Coffee County. A lot of construction on our highways. We're still looking at about 3 to 4 years before Highway 41 is actually widened, going out to ADC Road past the industrial park, the Coffee County and the Manchester parks. But you are looking at intersection improvements that will begin July 1st in Tullahoma at Cedar Lane and Wilson Avenue, and that's going to be an incredibly large project. They've already shut down the old Shell station across the street. Trinity Lutheran, which is a church I grew up in, is probably going to lose about half of its front parking lot. And our health department, which is the old Super D Drugs, and you may remember they're on the corner of Wilson and Cedar Lane, is going to lose about 2/3 of its parking lot also. But we are in the process. We've hired an architect and an engineer, and we're in the process of beginning to build our new one. We'll operate the one in Tullahoma for a couple more years. And we're in the process now of making sure that as TDOT does their construction there, that we have good ingress and egress for all the employees and the clients of the health department. Everything's on schedule for the health department as far as funding, construction schedules, etc. And be glad to answer any questions about the health department if anybody sees me out, or they can they can listen to one of our county meetings online and find out a lot more. Animal Control Center, we've made a lot of strides on it. Not only done a lot of due diligence, looking at other shelters to make sure that we interview folks about their past mistakes in construction and operations, and as we incorporate their ideas into our ideas, we're creating a modern facility that hopefully won't have to pay a lot of stupid tax on the construction of it. Still waiting on a few issues to come together on the land donation, but it all looks very good. The county may kick in a little bit of land right next to the donated land to allow us to have plenty of parking, and it looks like now we're going to be able to possibly, almost certainly, use the sewer behind the jail instead of having to put a couple of septic tanks there for our Animal Control Center, which is going to be much better for us. And all that is on schedule, and I hope to break ground by the end of this year on that facility. Health insurance in the county, Sam Harper, my chief of staff, and I, one of the biggest things that we worked on since day one and continue to work on is revamping our health insurance here in the county. We want to make sure we stay on the state plan because we've been on that for many years, but the way we have it set up, the way it's been set up in the past, is not advantageous for take-home pay for our employees or for the actual care for them. If you have a catastrophic injury or just need some basic maintenance, our health insurance is not too bad, but for the average healthy person, it's terrible. And so we're looking at some really new and unique ways to bring healthcare costs down and to provide benefits for our employees. And just in a nutshell, one of those may include, and I stress the word may because we're in the beginning processes, but I'd like to put a health clinic here at the CCAT building that's available to government employees and their dependents so that we can control utilization and lost time. And once we get a grip on utilization of our health care and our drugs, then we're going to be able to see substantial decreases in our premiums. So I want to move on real quick to the budget. I know I'm about out of my allotted time that I usually allow myself for this, but our budget committee has been working great together with the various committees. We've had several meetings to look over the county's budget requests from the department heads. The schools have sent their requests to us. We've merged those together. We're going to have a meeting, another meeting next week to start really fine-tuning our numbers. But I hope to be able to provide a nice, at least 4% pay increase this year to employees, along with a one-time performance bonus in November. before Black Friday, and also we're trying for a very small property tax decrease, which we can easily handle, and just blessed to have the revenues that we have and the staffs that we have here and the folks in the budget office, and the commission is doing a fantastic job working together, everybody pulling in the same direction to work together, and I appreciate that. If you guys have any questions, always call me here at the mayor's office, 931-723-5100. My cell phone is 615-390-8314. That's the same cell number I've had for 30 years. I usually tell people to text me first and I'll call you back, because I usually have my ringer off due to meetings and things, but you can reach me that way directly, the office number. Anything you need, come and see us or call us. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to serve Coffee County during this time of great growth, and look forward to 3 more years with you, and look forward to seeing each and every one of you out on the street, and have a great rest of the week. Thanks.
And stay with us. Your weather forecast is coming up right after these messages.
We teach Parkinson's patients how to move big and not let the Parkinson's slow them down. I've had patients I've treated in-house that could not even stand up, could not roll over in the bed, left the facility walking with a walker, have come back to us in outpatient and continued their big program, and are now completely, handling life. The success of the program is just phenomenal.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
One thing about Parkview, we could bring our animal out there with us.
It would have been a deal breaker if we had not been able to take Gracie.
Yeah, we would not have gone.
If you want to do something, there's something to do most of the day. You shouldn't get bored.
I really enjoy my life here at Parkview. I really choose what I want to do. We have a wonderful library with hundreds of books that I love. It is a wonderful place.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this date. Our record high was in 1962 at 94 degrees. The record low was in 1973 at 38 degrees. The average high for this day is 78, and the average low is 56. Storms likely for tonight with a low of 59. Mostly sunny skies for Friday with a high of 75 and a low of 61. Showers expected for Saturday with a high of 73 and a low of 52. And that's our News Leader Report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday evenings at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. for News Leader. Stay safe. Have a great evening.